Good morning. Once again, we pause a moment and say thank you for allowing us this opportunity to speak in your life. I was just sitting here in the room this morning before Darren or anyone else walked in and just asking the Father what he would have me to speak on today and for this brief blog as I do each Sunday morning. I just felt an urgency in my spirit, man, that the Lord would have me to address a topic today that I would just simply like to ask the question. Who is Jesus sending us to? You see, the Bible tells us that we have this treasure. We know it as salvation. We call it relationship with Jesus Christ. But the Bible says we have this treasure that is shut up in earthen vessels. In other words, God has given each of us a gift that we call relationship. We call it salvation. The Bible declares that that is a gift that has been given to us. And the Bible says we freely receive, therefore we must freely give. So the question today is, who is Jesus sending us to? Oftentimes that looks so different. Oftentimes that will be manifested in our lives on an ongoing basis throughout the days of our life. When we have opportunity to come into contact with people that maybe we only have one moment in the span of our lives to influence that person, either in a positive or in a negative way. I want to use this little story that happened, I don't know, probably 30 plus years ago. My wife was driving down the highway and it came to a traffic light, and I think it was Spivey's Corner. She's sitting at the traffic light, stopped, and this young lady came up behind us, or behind Tammy, and stopped, but then in her being preoccupied by what was going on in her world at that moment, she rolled into the back of Tammy's car. They both got out and looked, and there was no damage. Tammy just began to love on the lady, and the lady began to share with her that her son was in Chapel Hill Hospital, I believe it was, and he had been there since the time of his birth, and began to share a little bit about the brief struggles in her life. Tammy just loved on her and made a commitment to pray for her, and they went on their way. Close to 30 years later, we walk in a room, Tammy and myself, at a wedding, and this lady is sitting at the table. Tammy didn't know her at the time. Come to find out, she is married to a man that Tammy grew up with in her home church. That family was reconnected with us, and now they attend our church and are members here at Shiloh Pentecostal Holiness Church. I thought about that brief encounter that Tammy had with this wonderful lady, which is such a blessing to us today. But I thought about that brief encounter that Tammy had with her. God sent her to that lady that day to bless her, to pray for her. But I thought about what if Tammy had have reacted the wrong way. But she loved on that lady. And then all those years later, when they came back together, there was an opportunity there for a connection. And today she happens to be one of Tammy's best and dearest prayer partners and friends. I'm asking you again, who is God sending you and I to today? Who is it that you and I are going to bump into today? Who is it that we're going to cross paths with today that God is sending us to? You see, it may not be manifested in our life in a manner such as this was in Tammy's life, but I really believe that we're on divine assignment today. We're on appointment by the Master, and He gives us opportunities of cross paths to be a blessing to someone. I've often thought about that story over the years. What if Tammy had jumped out of the car and had been rude to the ladies? What if she'd have jumped out of the car and had been ugly? Oh, my friend, it would have been a terrible thing. But today, because of that brief encounter, and because of the privilege he had to be able to minister to someone in that moment, today the outcome is very different. So I would just say to you today, who is it that the Father is sending me and you to today? With that thought in mind, I want to close out this morning and just say to you today, be careful. Be careful, for you and I are about the Master's business. Be careful. Be very careful, because we're on assignment today. We have an opportunity today to choose to be the hands and feet of Jesus. He has blessed us and he has poured into us into this earthen vessel. So today I encourage you and I ask you again, who is it that God is sending you to? Just maybe it might be someone here today at Shiloh Pentecostal Holiness Church. If you don't have a place to celebrate the opportunities that God brings into your life, oh, how we would love to have you come join us right here on Autry Mill Road, Shiloh Pentecostal Holiness Church. The address is 2271 Autry Mill Road, Godwin, North Carolina. Yes, we're out in the Clement community. Just wanted to drop this in your spirit today, give you food for thought. May the Lord richly bless you as you go about your day today on the Master's business. God bless you all. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak with you today. Pastor Eddie.